such as TVs, computers, and sewing, putting together clothing equipment. The second amendment is the building coverage in the PCA zoning district. What we've done on this one is currently the code has an incentive program which allows developers to increase the building coverage or decrease their open space by giving the city land to use as parks. What we've done is looked at that and taken an idea basically to allow them to expand the building coverage, and in exchange they give us a fee which we can use to actually construct something on this land that we've already got collected. The increasing the building coverage does not change the open space for the lot, it just allows them to put a larger home on that. And these are a couple of the examples you can see on the bottom here of different types of improvements that could be made: ballparks, playgrounds, streetscape improvements, etc. And this kind of diagram shows kind of how the open space is going to stay the same, but what changes is basically kind of how you divide up the impervious area. Currently, the building coverage is 35% for a single family lot. And on this lot, you still have the 40% open space, and then you have your 60% impervious, which is divided between 35% at the building and 25% for driveway, patio, pool. Under the new, with the amendment, they could go up to possibly a 45% building coverage. The open space still remains the same as 40%. What happens is basically the impervious is shrunk down to 15%, and the building coverage is 45%. The third item is...
before you leave that, may I interrupt? If you're going to do that right there, then the request for a variance for a pool is eliminated. Is that correct? Every time we do, every time we change something, we get another argument about something else. It's always the variance. But if you're already giving them the differential, what about the flexibility? And I know anybody can ask for anything. That to me is one of the biggest arguments we ever have, because down the street it's such a nebulous thing. What do y'all think?
I think you're right. I know we've had many an argument over the years about pools specifically, and if you're reducing the amount of impervious space, it seems odd that a pool's an impervious space, but it's going to shrink that lot down to the point where you're just not going to be able to fit that in, and so it would be a good idea to include in there that with this we don't have the opportunity for you to put a pool in later. They need to understand that, and of course the subsequent buyers need to understand that as well.
There is the we show here just on this one example we have here of basically this is a kind of a item that we have here with basically this lot right here is about 43% building coverage, and here's kind of like the breakdown we've done with the building coverage, the open space, the impervious area that's proposed already, the driveway, and then basically there is a remaining small amount there that they do have ability to do a small pool still with this proposal here. It wouldn't be the largest pool that they could get, but they still have the opportunity to do pools and patios still.
It needs to be made clear that they've got a very limited amount of space there, because it's if they come in for a variance, and we need to have that noted to us when they come in, that this is one that has done this, and that they're already down to a 15% impervious space, so that we know that they can't encroach.
I'm setting up here that the ones we get into arguments over are typically this. Bob?
Well, is this relating mostly because we're seeing more smaller lots, and we want to get a bigger home on a smaller lot?
If people are looking for basically larger homes, right, basically one-story homes, right, on the lots here, either square footage, and right now we've got that 35% is the limit, and they're looking between that 40 to up to that 45% range. So we've been getting questions about that then.
If you took this, just not to interrupt, if you took this right here, and you did a dotted line outline of what all the setbacks are, right? Is it going to show them what remains that you could do?
Yeah, this is actually this is for the building setback lines are dotted already on here. But the, I mean, there is the ability to, with the setbacks and stuff like that, that's impervious that's left there, they can do some improvements in that lot.
If that's a setback, where's it gonna go?
Well, the pool setbacks are different than like a building setback. You can have a pool setback 8 feet from the rear property line and 8 feet from the side property line, where you got the building setbacks are 25 feet.
Okay, so it'd give you a small pool, right? Yeah.
All right. Mary, any comments?
No, not at this time.
George?
No, I agree with you.
Just, all right, you're still up. Didn't mean to interrupt, but
Oh, sorry. But the third and final one is just basically what we did with to resolve a conflict between Chapter 5 and Chapter 17 of the code. Just go over the terms quickly. The lot frontage is the red line here, which is basically where the property line meets the right-of-way line. And then the lot width is the green line, and that's measured at the front setback, from the front setback on the lot. The way the code's written now, in Chapter 5 it requires the minimum lot frontage to be 35 feet, and then in Chapter 17 we have a requirement for duplex and townhome lots to say the lot width can be 18 feet, so you kind of have a bell-shaped lot being proposed. What we did was we went ahead and resolved that conflict by reducing the lot frontage to 20 feet, and then we increased the lot width for the duplex and townhome lots in Chapter 17 to 20 feet. And staff is recommending approval of the amendments to Chapters 5 and 17.
let me comment on that. Every time you reduce that front setback, those big, long pickup trucks that are still legal are over the sidewalk, and the kids are in the street every time.
We're not reducing the front setback. The front setbacks will still remain the same.
How much?
In this area right here, for that, what we changed in this one is a 20-foot setback.
You're in the parking lot. The tail of that truck at 20 feet is over the sidewalk, the way they park. Every time. Every time. If that's what we got in place, then we're doing it wrong. I know I keep complaining about it, but you can go anywhere you want to. They've got those double cab pickup trucks with that big, long, extended bed